Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Ankalaev. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card. So in our first fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Tayfon Nchukwi versus Azamat Murzakanov. And how I see this one right here is Murzakanov, I definitely feel like he got more gray around his whiskers. I'm not to say that he's older. I mean, he is older, but that's not where I'm meaning to say that. I feel like Nchukwi got more valuable MMA experience as fighting credible competition, whereas Azamat Murzakanov, not really the same level of competition. Maybe it's not like it's a big night and day difference, but I feel like Tayfon Nchukwi definitely had the better MMA experience. Azamat Murzakanov has more experience in other forms of martial arts overall, and is the older man by a couple of years. He's like 35 versus like a 27-year-old fighter, so almost 10 years older than him. Kind of towards the end of his MMA prime. And Tayfon Nchukwi not yet reaching his MMA prime. So instant matchup here right here. Murzakanov seems like he looks for the home run hitters a lot out there. Hasn't really been tested or extended really much in his career, and definitely not to the level of caliber that Tayfon Nchukwi is. But I really feel in this one, I feel like Azamat Murzakanov can have success early, but ultimately favor Tayfon Nchukwi's youth and his volume and his work rate, conditioning. And along with that youth, he comes with durability. He's not like an older fighter that you just blow wind on them and they go to sleep, or they just tap out, or they give up or blow out their hip. So a pretty young, fresh guy, not yet in his prime, could take a bit of damage. And, test that chin a little bit, and then take Murzakanov deep. Take him in later rounds, outvalue him, outwork him, and beat him to a decision. So Murzakanov kind of coming on strong early, but not able to get him out of there with the home runs. And Nchukwi defending well, and is constantly, volume constantly working and pushing the pace that Murzakanov can't keep up with, and eventually outworking and outlasting him. So in this fight, I got Tayfon Nchukwi via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Guida Conneretti versus Chris Martino, and I see this one right here. So it's a battle of last place. Loser gets to keep last place. Winner gets to keep last place, and loser goes home. So winner last place, loser exits. And I see this one, I feel like Guida Conneretti is the better fighter, overall better fighter, but he's 42, and it's hard to, put any trust in a man who's 42, 43 in a low tier, bottom tier gate guardian. It's hard to put any trust in that. Chris Martino, you can't really put no trust in him either, but he's 29 versus a 42-year-old man, so you got to favor Martino. Skill-wise, I feel like Guida Connetti's stronger. Skill-wise, I feel like he's a more talented fighter, a more technical fighter, more skilled fighter. But again, that age is a factor. It's not like he never had really any good consistency in the UFC anyway. He's right at 3-5 losing streak. He did pretty well in his last fight in a loss. But anywho, it's gonna favor Chris Martino to be able to push a pace, be that crash test dummy, be in his face, throwing a volume. Not gonna be the prettiest fight, but I see Chris Martino drowning him with his pace and pressure. Not gonna be clean, not gonna be technical. He's gonna be getting hit all day, but it's gonna be a sloppy fight. But Martino ultimately going to just overwhelmed the 42-year-old Conneretti, and Conneretti not gonna be able to keep up with him. And then he started to get fatigued, get it walked down, get outworked, and then get put out in the third round. So in this fight, I got Chris Martino via third round TKO. Now to our next fight we have in the middleweight division, Cody Brundage versus Dalcha Lugambula. So Brundage versus Lugambula, how I see this one right here. Lugambula has the power, definitely has the technical advantage in jiu-jitsu, probably have a technical advantage in grappling overall, but can he keep that pace? Can he maintain a pace, or can he get the stoppage? So I'm looking at Lugambula either to get a stoppage or, extend him, not extend him, either get a stoppage or maybe do just enough in the first round or first and half round, and for that to, ride him to a decision. But I'm not picking Lugambula. I'm saying all this to say I'm not picking him. He's definitely not no guy that's 39 years old, 40 years old, and out of his prime, or, he's right in his prime, but don't really like his build. And don't really like, his style necessarily, especially going down to 185. So you're already muscle bound. Then you're cutting down more fat, more energy, and sucking yourself up even more to go down a weight class. And it's not like he's getting a big advantage by cutting down. He's not taller than everybody. He's not so much bigger than everybody. So it's not no big advantage to go down. And like I say, he just drained himself more to go to a weight class where he gets no real advantage. Brundage is younger. Brundage can push a pace. Not really all that tested in necessarily, but I like a guy that could, at least push and maintain the pace. And I feel like I can't really trust a guy that's a one-round fighter. But all this to be stuttering right here. But all that to be said is that all that to be said. All that to be said is like I really don't have much trust in Cody Brundage really in this one. The man's 6-2, hasn't really fought anybody. Anytime he fought anybody a bit decent, he's crumbled. Looking at Bull on the side, got maybe, some okay wins here and there. Got some experience, was a champion with like a South African league or whatever the case may be. But I like Cody Brundage here. Like I said, can push and maintain a pace. It's not like just his whole chances of victory relying heavily on the first round or this and that. Like I'll take like Cody Garbrandt. I like Cody Garbrandt. I'm messing the name up. I'm saying Cody Garbrandt, Cody Brundage, Cody Brussels sprouts, whatever the case may be. Cody Brundage. I don't know. His name not even hard. Why am I butchering it? But one take, all I'm doing. I'm not doing another take. This is going right through it. Cody Brundage to just extend Ambula. So Cody Brundage to extend Ambula and beat him to a decision. That's my prediction for this fight. So in this fight, I got Cody Brundage via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Sabina Mazo versus Miranda Maverick. And I'm pretty confident in this one. Mazo doesn't really do the best with grapplers. Not necessarily a finisher at all. So a big, long decision fighter with not the best grappling. Literally got picked apart by Agapova and then tapped out by her. Getting picked apart on the feet, maybe not the worst thing, but getting tapped out, definitely very questionable at this point. If Miranda Maverick is smart, she should mix this up, and quickly look to get this to the mat and quickly look to dominate, potentially get a stoppage. It's probably going to be still a relatively competitive fight, but Miranda Maverick just outworking her and scoring takedowns, outpositioning her. But again, that not being as big a focus as it should be, or her not committing to that as much as she should, because if she did, it'd probably be a very, very easy, quick fight. But Miranda Maverick, I don't really rate her IQ super high. Her striking is definitely not the best. And she's probably going to strike more than she should. But luckily for her, Mazo's not a big puncher. And Mazo's not no real high fight IQ, she's not a real deal killer out there. So be a sloppy, not the prettiest striking match, but with some grappling exchanges that Maverick's going to dominate. And like I said, just outposition her, outwork her, and the takedowns will be the clear edge for her. So in this one, I got Miranda Maverick via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Damon Jackson versus Camila Kirk. And how I see this one right here between Jackson versus Kirk is, Jackson, I feel like he's very one-dimensional in my opinion. Striking, I can't really write much about it. Grappling, he's very savvy on the ground. But I feel like Camila Kirk can just neutralize his grappling. He's solid enough there to neutralize it. On feet, I feel like he's just a much crisper striker, whereas Jackson just don't really got much on the feet. He really ain't got much on the feet, so I'm going to see it as a decision fight. I feel like Camila Kirk not going to be as aggressive. He needs to get a finish in this one, but he still be clearly outstriking Jackson. Then the grappling changes, he's more so going to be just neutralizing the grappling and making a striking match. Probably a close fight on paper, but when you guys watch the fight, it ain't going to be all that close. It's going to be clear that Kirk is winning, but it's going to be a case of if he really, was that level of fighter or, had any, like a real, like if he was like truly a caliber fighter with the skill set that he has, and he would put away a guy like Jackson. Like if he really was about something, like he really gonna come in here and try to, climb up the rankings and fight for the belt, and not just like I'm here and I'm winning, I'm losing, I'm winning, I'm just be here. But like somebody that's really like, oh, I'm trying to fight for the belt, I'm trying to be the best. I'm like I can be the best, or I potentially could be in the talks to be the best, or at least fight the best, and stick around with the best and hang with the best. He would put away a guy like Jackson in under 2.5, but it's going to be a case where neutralizing the grappling and just out striking him. Probably hurt him a couple times, but again, not fully commit to get him out of there. And also on Jackson's side, he'll probably be doing some decent submission attempts and some, recovering guard real well, so he don't get finished. Like, even when getting buzzed, he's still going to have his mind about him to at least stay defensively sound on the ground, on the feet. He can have all his brains there. His striking defense is horrendous. His striking offense is pretty horrendous. But grappling-wise, guy's pretty solid. So he's probably going to crumble to the ground and be quick to pull guard or go for a leg lock or something just to, regain his senses. But, yeah, that's probably going to be the fight. So in this fight, I got Camila Kirk via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Trevin Jones versus Javid Basharat. And how I see this one right here between Jones versus Basharat is I think Basharat's a solid talent and all, but level of competition is flat out garbage. I'm gonna be honest. Level of competition he has for has been flat out garbage. He looks good, but a lot of people, like everybody that coming to the UFC, are got some eyes on them. They all look good. fighting bums. And that's what his whole career has been, bums. Like I said, the skill set looks solid. He got a solid bit of skills, but has never used that against anyone of that worth talking about or worth mentioning. Like, when you look at his record, don't mention nobody he fought. Don't mention none of these guys. Like, don't mention none of these guys to me. Don't mention none of the guys he fought because they all garbage. 11-0 sounds pretty. Just go by that. Don't go in depth with your record. 11-0, that's all you need to say because your competition has been garbage. Solid skills. This is his first real test, his first test at all. And I like Trevin Jones. I feel like his record is definitely not nowhere near as pretty, but has fought much better guys. Got a win over Timur Valiev that was overturned, and Timur Valiev is a beast. Yes, he was getting mixed up in that fight, so at first, but he survived, found his opening, and was they put him away. Went over Mario Batista, qualified guy right there. I just feel like his experience is a big factor. I feel like Trevin Jones is a better wrestler, better submission grappler. Striking-wise, Javier Basar has a better arsenal on the feet. But again, anyone could look like they have 1,000 tools when they fight in tomato cans. So can you really rate all those things? I feel like Trevin Jones have a power advantage as well. Like I said, Basar has more tools, but Trevin Jones does more with less, I feel, and has done more against bigger competition. That's really going to come down to it. Experience is a big factor, and I'm going to lean to experience. And I think Trevin Jones will be able to touch Basar with some power, make him uncomfortable, mix in takedowns, have Basar not really feeling as confident as he has in the past, and eventually break it down over the course of the fight, then tap him out in the third round. So in this fight, I got Trevin Jones via third round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, J.J. Aldrich versus Gillian Robertson. And how I see this one right here is Robertson has never really, all her wins have come against people that have almost negative grappling, pretty much. I'm exaggerating, but when you look at her template for people she has beaten, it has all been people that, really just crumble when they go to the ground. That's the people she has beat. Literally every single person she has beat has been that. She has fought decently against some people that aren't that, but she has never beat anyone that has any bit of decent grappling or, any bit of wherewithal on the ground. She has not done well. And I heard they trained together before, but like I said, still, regardless, a close fight on paper. But I'm going to lean to J.J. Aldrich. I feel like on J.J. Aldrich's side, all her fights have come to people that have actually, been, really talented strikers, or she's been caught. And Gillian Robertson hasn't really shown any power. She's not really a technical striker like that, or really a valid striker necessarily. More so a grappler. And anytime somebody's able to really stuff her takedown or the better grappler than her, she either gets tapped out by them quickly, or she just gets bullied around the cage. And I feel like Aldrich can, for the most part, address her grappling to the degree she needs to. Then on the feet, just outstrike her and just dictate the pace of this fight on the feet. So in this fight, I have J.J. Aldrich via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in our prelim headliner in the welterweight division, Matt Semelsberger versus A.J. Fletcher. And how I see this one right here between Semelsberger versus Fletcher is, Fletcher shows some explosiveness, but again, against a mediocre can. Got T-Rex arms and got a weird built body. Kind of on the short side, but not very wide, not very explosive. I say he's explosive just to say he's not explosive. By the way, T-Rex arm, not the best frame. I feel like Semelsberger is bigger, longer, just as explosive, if not more. Better background. Fletcher didn't actually have a wrestling background. He just an MMA wrestler from something I'm hearing. So that's nothing just to throw off the table. So it's really going to be a striking matchup. And I just feel like Semelsberger is cleaner, more technical. And like I say, bigger, longer, stronger, better in every area. So I see this one. I see Semelsberger just drawing out Fletcher's shots, countering them, touching them, then putting them out. Probably fill him out first round, put him out second round. So in this fight, I have Matt Semelsberger via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, our first fight on the main card, Bruno Silva versus Alex Pereira. And the high seas one is, I feel like Bruno Silva presents a big punch, and he's not that necessarily ever been a technical fighter on the ground. He has a black belt in BJJ, but never really been a technical fighter, never really been a fighter with necessarily high fight IQ. Probably underrated fight IQ. It gets missed a little bit. He's definitely not an idiot, because you don't get to this level just by being an idiot. He's not an idiot, but he's definitely not a fighter who could put in a high fight IQ, game planning type fighter. He's typically not that guy. That's not his style. So I really see in this one, Bruno Silva maybe trying to mix it to the ground a little bit, but not to a great degree. And then on the feet, I see him swinging big shots, and Pereira just having the shorter, sharper shots in the bigger arsenal of strikes. But I see Bruno Silva, like I said, kind of come out trying to have a hot start and maybe like forcing a takedown, but not really doing much with it. Feet swinging big shots, but coming up short and missing. Eventually, Pereira just reading him, stepping off, letting him swing wild, countering with a big hook, drop him, and then follow up and put him away in that first round. So in this fight, I have Alex Pereira via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, Drew Dober versus Terrence McKinney. And how this one right here between Dober versus McKinney is, Dober definitely has experience, and McKinney is definitely this, this young spring chicken coming up in there, and big eyes, maybe bigger than he can. I messed up the saying, but he got big eyes. All I'm saying, like maybe he's biting off more than he can chew. Is what I'm trying to say. His eyes are bigger than his mouth. Like he got big eyes, and he's trying to jump up. But Drew Dober's a big step. Drew Dober definitely no world beater, no killer like that, but nonetheless, Drew Dober is an experienced man out there. But yeah, Drew Dober is experienced, and he's been in there with some of the best of them, lost some of the best of them. But I like Terrence McKinney here. He's been doing his thing in these past couple fights. He gets more well-rounded fighter. Drew Dober has shown improved takedown defense, improved sharpness out there. Been able to stick there and not crumble in big moments. But I like Terrence McKinney in this one. I like his power, I like his speed, and I like his wrestling, I like his grappling, I like the fact that he can mix it up. And Drew Dober historically has not done the best with grapplers, historically. And I feel like Terrence McKinney can mix it up, probably, gain some respect with his power, maybe touch Dober up a little bit, maybe drop him, maybe wobble him a little bit. And then Dober's going to have to respect his striking, respect his speed, respect his youth. And I see McKinney mixing the takedowns, and it's really wearing him down over the course of the fight, and then tapping him out in the third round. But very competitive, close fight through 2 rounds, but eventually Dober starts to wear down through the grappling, the pressure of McKinney, and then McKinney is able to just pepper him up, take some of that, thaw him out, take some of that energy out of his cells, knock some wind out of his cells, just land on him, punching on him, and making Dober have to work from bottom, and eventually able to tap him out in that third round. So in this fight, I got Terrence McKinney via third round submission. And I need some water on that note, but I'm not getting no water. We doing this all right here. I really need some water, but again, we doing this all right here. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, Khalil Roundtree versus Karl Robertson. And how I see them right here between Roundtree versus Robertson is Roundtree versus Robertson is Roundtree. He has that untrustworthy, or at least I guess trustworthy pattern where he has a spectacular finish, then he looks mediocre in the next fight, or he just doesn't show up in the next fight. And I'm gonna trust that pattern. And also on Robertson's side, Robertson has never lost a fight in MMA, or at least in the UFC, via striking. It's all been submission to grapplers, submission grapplers, or at least by way of submission or way of grappling. He has never lost a fight due to striking. I like him to be the crisper striker right here, the more composed striker, more experienced striker out here. I think Roundtree's going to come out there looking big and explosive early, looking for the big shots, throwing big shots, maybe even connecting a couple of them, but not fully clean. But yeah, looking good early, but fading. And Robertson is staying clean, sharp, stand sharp in his defense and stand sharp with his striking, not overcommitting to anything. And probably will even mixing takedowns. We got to forget, Robertson actually has grappling skills as well. So, as a matter of fact, that's what's going to happen. I feel like Roundtree's come out aggressive early, swinging big shots. Robertson's going to stay calm, composed, maybe land some clean counters, kind of stop Roundtree in his tracks at times. Then Roundtree starts to slow down as the fight goes on. After that, really irresponsible style, that irresponsible pace. Be a little bit tired, a little bit weathered. Not really weathered, but a little bit tired, kind of breathing out the mouth. Breathing out the mouth and with open mouth breathing. Then Robertson started to mix strikes in. And Roundtree's gonna start, his pace gonna start to slow down. He's gonna start to be on the back foot, trying to recover, trying to pick his shots, and these big load up shots every now and then. Then Robertson's gonna see him time one of those shots, those big looping shots, duck under, take him to the mat, transition, cut him up with some elbows, and then tap him out. Now I'm gonna say late second round. So in this fight, I got Karl Robertson via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Alex Caceres versus Sodiq Yusuff. And how's this one right here? So Yusuff to me has a questionable chin. We've seen him get touched by Arnold Allen, dropped twice in that fight. We've seen him get touched by Gabriel Benitez. I think Philly kind of had him a little bit, had him even thinking a little bit when he touched him a little bit in that fight. So Yusuf, I don't feel like he has the best chin. And I feel like his defense can be a little bit questionable. Offense is nothing, no doubt about the offense. He's a dangerous offensive fighter. But defensively, there's a bit to be desired. But anywho, I feel like Caceres could definitely have a shot in this one, especially with his experience. Could maybe catch an overzealous Yusuf. Yusuf like to come out there and just throw defense out the window sometimes and just look for the kill, look for the big bombs and stuff, and neglect his own defense. Some negligence out there. Maybe Caceres could catch him and then maybe look off a drop, get him to the mat, and then tap out a wobbled Yusuf or a disorientated Yusuf. But I'm gonna go safe with here. I'm gonna go with Sodiq Yusuf in this one. I feel like grappling is very underrated. Wrestling defense is very underrated. And I feel like he can stuff all of Caceres' takedowns. And Caceres is not really a great takedown offensive fighter anyway. Like his offensive takedowns aren't the best. And most times his takedown, most time when the fight goes to the mat, it's opportunistic. It's not a case of like, oh, he set up a takedown so well, or he was so powerful. It's not like his technique's not there on the wrestling, power's not there on the wrestling. So it's more so about crafty and find those opportunities when those takedowns or grappling changes present themselves for him. It's not like I said, wrestling's not the best. And it's not like big powerhouse or anything, and it's not like he has a great frame for wrestling either. So it just really don't be there most times. At best, maybe he could try to be a guy that could take your back, but as securing takedowns, that's not his cup of tea. That's not where he's really strong at. But yeah, so I see his fight being on feet for the most part. And I think Yusuf's gonna be able to blast his legs, stay in front of him, put him on the back foot, rip him to the body with some heavy kicks, rip his leg, some heavy leg kicks, look to load up some power. I feel like Caceres is gonna be awkward, keep him honest to an extent. And then like Caceres hurt, like I said, very unorthodox, very odd. And then also when he's hurt, like I say, he probably look to land some counters, look to just be out there and not just let Yusuf walk him down and look to at least attempt takedowns to slow Yusuf down. So I don't see a stoppage here, but I do see a decision. Very probably odd fight, but I definitely gonna win by Yusuf's forward pressure and landing the heavier shots, throwing the heavier shots, controlling the center of the octagon, and that's why Yusuf will get his hand raised. So in this one, I have Sodiq Yusuf via decision. Now to our co-main event, we have in the bantamweight division, Marlon Moraes versus Yadong Song. And how I see this one is, Marlon Moraes' chin has been touched many times. The man cannot avoid a straight right hand. Like, he don't move that head off the center line. It just stays there. Very explosive kicks, very talented fighter, but the recipe's already out there, and his chin is like almost seemingly gone. But hey, maybe it still stick around, but I gotta go with Song in this one. I feel like he's gonna get him out in the first round. Moraes will be probably explosive for about a minute or two. But once Yadong Song finds that shot, and, things start to settle down, he will find that right hand straight down the pipe. That's Yadong Song's best punch, best strike. And Moraes, that's his biggest weakness. So it's just a match tailor-made for Marlon Moraes to get sparked pretty quickly. And wrestling-wise, I don't see Moraes, being able to do much with his wrestling. Grappling-wise, he's definitely a better submission grappler. But offensive wrestling, I don't really see him having that much success to be able to have anything done with that grappling. That's mostly to see this as a striking matchup. And again, as soon as the fight settles down, Song gonna find that right hand. It's gonna crack Moraes, and he's gonna follow up with some ground and pound. It's gonna be a quick night, I see. So in this one, I got Yadong Song via first round TKO. Now to our main event, we have in the light heavyweight division, Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev. And how I see this one right here, so you got a 38-year-old Thiago Santos, a fighter that's an explosive power puncher, and that's not really necessarily the best style for longevity. So 38, got stopped a couple times, has plenty of injuries, so that's not really the best thing. Ankalaev like 32, right in his 30, early 30s, right in his prime. Santos is probably 3 years shy of his prime, 3 years out of his prime. So I think Ankalaev is a more technical striker. Like he can score takedown Santos without much issue. Santos definitely his weakest area is his grappling. So I just kind of see this one, Ankalaev just really just schooling Santos out there on his feet, making him reach, and it's like controlling the center octagon, controlling the distance, and it's controlling the pace of the striking, and frustrating Santos out there when he's not able to connect or he's not able to find his range. And Ankalaev just controlling it, touching him, and just making him respect him, and not allowing Santos just to come in there and swing big shots and all these big, long, extended combinations, and have Santos, playing to his style, and maybe looking for a big shot every now and then, bring him into a chess match. And then when Santos realizes he's losing that, just overcommitting and start to land clean counters on him, hurt Santos, score takedowns on Santos, and just wear him down. And I think he taps him out in the third round. So, like, after taking him out of the element and schooling him, frustrating him, countering him, drag him to the mat, pound him out, and then tap him out. Third round. So, in this fight, I got Magomed Ankalaev via third round submission. And that concludes my fight predictions for the 4 Carter fights for UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Ankalaev. And as always, thanks for watching.